Karen, Volkov called. Information on cargo X-77. Access denied. Director-level authorization required. I'm the ship's commander. An Omega situation gives me the right to... Analyzing. The AI paused. Accepted. In an Omega-level emergency, the commander has access rights to any cargo. Displaying manifest. Lines of text appeared on Volkov's tablet. He read, feeling his chest grow cold. "What's there?" Sailor asked impatiently. "Archive modules from the Mnemosyne project," Volkov said slowly. 1,247 units. Backup copies of station data from 2,138 to 2,140. Backup copies. Gremlin looked up from the locks. But why ship them on a freighter? And why now, after 200 years? Good question. Karen, who ordered the cargo? Information unavailable. Who paid for the shipment? Information unavailable. What the hell? Is anything available? I can report that the container was loaded at Series 7 Station 4, hours before your departure. Documents were processed through an automated system, without human operator involvement. Volkov and Sailor exchanged glances. Someone really didn't want to leave traces, the pilot noted. Or something, Gremlin added. Boss, what if the station itself ordered the delivery? Through old protocols, automated systems, a station that was silent for 200 years, but now it's not silent. Maybe it woke up earlier than we think. And the first thing it did was send its archives. Where? To the miners on Eris. Volkov looked at the manifest again. No. Final destination, he faltered. Coordinates. Just a set of coordinates. No name. Show me. Sailor looked at the numbers and whistled. That's almost our current course. Deviation of a couple degrees, meaning the container is being taken to the same place we're heading, Gremlin summarized. To Mnemosyne, silence hung in the bay. Only the refrigeration units hummed monotonously, maintaining temperature. Open it, Volkov decided. Boss, are you sure? If there's protection, open it. We need to know what we're carrying. Gremlin nodded and set to work. Her fingers flew over the lock's control panel, bypassing security protocols one after another. Sailor held a fire extinguisher ready, in case the self-destruct system activated. Almost. Got it. The locks clicked. The heavy container door began slowly sliding aside, releasing clouds of frosty vapor. Temperature inside -80, Gremlin reported, checking the readings. Cryogenic storage. The vapor cleared, revealing the container's interior. Rows of shelves from floor to ceiling, filled with archive modules. Old technology. Physical media instead of quantum crystals. Each module, size of a shoebox, covered in frost. Volkov stepped inside, feeling the cold pierce even through his insulated jumpsuit. On the nearest module was engraved the Mnemosyne project emblem, a stylized ear listening to the stars. Beneath the emblem, small letters spelled out additional markings. Volkov looked closer, wiped frost from the surface with his glove. Archive 0001, first contact. Genetic key, Sokolov/Krylov/Volkov. What the hell? He muttered, rereading the line. Sailor peered over his shoulder. Our names. But this module is over 200 years old. Coincidence, Gremlin said quickly. She didn't sound like she believed it. Volkov silently studied the marking. Sokolov, Krylov, Volkov. Dima, Andrey, and himself. Too specific for coincidence. Look, Gremlin called, shining her flashlight along the rows of modules. Archive 001 to 100. First contact. Archive 101 to 200. Linguistic analysis. Archive 201 to 300. Communication attempt. And this is interesting. Sailor pointed to the far row. Archive 1001 to 1100. Crew transformation. Archive 1101 to 1200. Consciousness. Preservation protocols. What the hell is this? Volkov muttered. He picked up one of the modules. Archive 1247. Final transmission. The module was unexpectedly heavy, as if it contained something denser than data. "Boss!" Hertz's voice in the communicator sounded excited. "We've got changes." What kind of changes? The station signal. It reacted to the container being opened, frequency and intensity arising, as if the station fully woke up. What does that mean? Don't know. But the signal structure is changing. New data layers are appearing. And Cadet, he started writing something. Fast. He says he has to write it down before he forgets. "We're coming back," Volkov commanded. "Gremlin, seal the container. But first..." He slipped the final transmission module into his pocket. "Boss?" Sailor looked surprised. "I want to know how it ended for them. Quick, close up and let's go." They hurried out of the container. Gremlin quickly activated the locks, restoring the protection. New voices were already coming through the dude communicator. Anxious, tense. "Can't stop. It's just pouring out. Holden, make sure he doesn't hurt himself. He's not violent. He's just writing like he's possessed." Volkov quickened his pace. The cold of the cargo bay was left behind, but another cold, the cold of premonition, gripped his heart. On the bridge, the whole crew had gathered. Cadet sat at the navigation console, his fingers flying over the virtual keyboard with incredible speed. Lines of symbols appeared on screen, some resembling those in the signal, others looking completely alien. "Dima," Doc called softly. "Dima, stop. You've already written 20 pages. Can't," the kid exhaled, not looking away from the screen. "If I stop, I'll forget. This is important. It's instructions." Instructions for what? For proper listening. They're not just transmitting words. They're transmitting a way of perceiving, a new communication protocol. Universal language. "Who are they?" Volkov asked. Cadet finally stopped, turned around. His eyes were red from strain, but a strange excitement glowed in them. "Don't know, but they're kind. They want to share knowledge, all knowledge." He pointed at the screen. "Look, these are basic concepts. Time, space, matter, energy. But expressed not through our limited notions, but through the very essence of phenomena." Hertz moved closer, peering at the symbols. "My God, this is brilliant. Mathematics, linguistics, and philosophy all in one. A universal meta-language. Don't get carried away," Darwin warned. "We don't know the source, don't know the purpose. The purpose is obvious. Communication," Hertz objected. "Imagine you want to talk to an ant. How do you explain the concept of stars to it? Only by creating an intermediate language, understandable to both sides." "And who's the ant here?" Sailor asked darkly. No one answered. "Boss," Karen called. "Initiating acceleration procedure as ordered. Estimated time to Station Mnemosyne, 14 hours, 37 minutes. "Confirmed," Volkov nodded. "Gradual speed buildup. Conserve fuel." The Persephone shuddered gently, the main engines coming to life. The old ship began its journey toward a station that had been silent for 2 centuries, and now sang on all frequencies at once. Hertz, Volkov addressed the communications specialist. What else have you managed to decode? A lot, boss. Too much. Hertz rubbed his eyes beneath his glasses. The 7th data layer contains, I don't know what to call it, memories, emotional imprints. Someone or something is sharing the experience of first contact. Whose experience? Can't pin it down. But the sensations, he grimaced. Joy of discovery tangled up with fear. Ecstasy of understanding. Horror at the scale. Like a fish raised in an aquarium, suddenly glimpsing the ocean. Poetic, Darwin snorted. But what does it mean practically? It means, Cadet said slowly, that we're not the first. Someone already went through this, through the first meeting with them. And where are these first ones now? Doc asked. Cadet shrugged. Maybe they're the ones transmitting the signal. Maybe they became part of something larger. Or they simply changed. Silence fell over the bridge. Everyone was thinking their own thoughts, but all converging on one point. What awaited them at Station Mnemosyne. All right, Volkov stood. We have 14 hours. Let's use them wisely. Watch schedule. 4-hour shifts in pairs. No one stays alone. That's an order. Hertz, continue decoding, but don't overdo it. Break every 2 hours. But boss, there's so much data. That's exactly why breaks are mandatory. I don't want you burning out before we get there. Gremlin, full diagnostics of all systems. Special, attention to airlocks and suits. We're going EVA, already on it. By the way, found another oddity. A drone. It turned itself on. Yeah, it recorded video. A 3-second clip. But on the recording, she hesitated. Better see for yourself. Gremlin brought up the recording on screen. The quality was poor. The drone was filming something in the cargo bay. 3 seconds of static imagery. Nothing special. Except, stop, rewind, right there. In the recording, in the far corner of the bay, a shadow appeared for a fraction of a second. A human figure. But something was wrong with the proportions. Too tall, too thin. Enhance contrast, Volkov requested. The image sharpened. The figure wore an old spacesuit, a Model 200 years obsolete. On the helmet was the Mnemosyne emblem. Optical illusion, Darwin said quickly. A trick of light and shadow. That looks like a crew member from a dead station, Sailor objected. Too many coincidences. Karen, Volkov called. Video analysis. Analyzing. Visual anomaly detected in recording. Probability of optical illusion, 37%. Probability of unidentified object, 12%. Probability of sensor malfunction, 51%. And why did the drone turn itself on at all? Unknown. The event log shows spontaneous activation. Cause not established. Volkov looked once more at the frozen figure in the old spacesuit. His imagination filled in a face behind the dark visor glass. Dead, desiccated, but still human. Increase security measures, he ordered. All transfers between compartments, pairs only. And Gremlin, install additional cameras in the cargo bay. Already doing it. Doc, how's the crew? Stable, but she checked her tablet. Everyone has elevated cortisol levels. Classic stress response. And one more oddity. Cadet's encephalogram has changed. There are waves that weren't there before. Dangerous? Don't know. For now he feels fine. But it's definitely an anomaly. Cadet, how do you feel? Great, boss. Better than ever. Head's clear, thoughts are sharp. It's like I spent my whole life looking through a dirty window and somebody finally cleaned it. This doesn't sit right with me, Darwin muttered. Me neither, Volkov agreed. But we're managing. Let's get ready to meet whatever's out there. In 14 hours, we'll find out who or what awaits us at Mnemosyne. The crew began dispersing to their posts. Volkov stayed on the bridge with Sailor, who was checking the course. Boss, the pilot said quietly, if there really is someone there, someone who spent 200 years in isolation, they're not human anymore. I know. And you're still taking us there. Omega Protocol, remember? We don't have a choice. There's always a choice. Volkov looked at the screen where the station's point blinked. 14 hours until the meeting with the unknown. Sometimes all the options are bad, he said. But to retreat now, that means betraying those who might be waiting for help. Even if they're not quite human anymore. And if they're dangerous, then at least we'll warn Earth. That's also a duty. Sailor nodded, accepting the commander's logic. In the end, they all knew what they were getting into when they chose work in deep space. Risk was part of the contract. The Persephone continued its journey through the void. 14 hours. Not much time to prepare for a meeting with the unknown, but not so little that you couldn't imagine all the possible horrors waiting ahead. In his cabin, Volkov took out the archive module, final transmission. Heavy, cold, holding someone's last words. Should he read it now, or wait, preserve at least some mystery? He set the module on his desk. Time would tell. Right now, he needed to prepare for whatever Mnemosyne had in store. Prepare to meet those who had been silent for 2 centuries, and now sang on every frequency at once. Through the porthole, stars hung in the black, cold, distant, eternal. They'd been there when humanity first dreamed of flight. They'd still be there when no one was left to dream. But for now there were still those who flew toward mystery. 7 souls in an aging rust bucket, chasing duty and protocol into the unknown. 14 hours to Station Mnemosyne. 14 hours to answers or new questions. Time would tell.